Okay, so tonight I'm going to cover a little bit about themes with Dojo. I have an app already built. It does not look good. Right? Basically, this app uses a kind of a, I forget what this site's called, requests.in. It's basically a fake API you can use for testing, right? And it's just going to request some users. And then I have a widget here that is just going to display those users on my page. All right, but I want to kind of make this look a little bit decent. I also want to make a light and a dark theme so that I can check a box here. And when I do that, it's going to go ahead and change the background for me, right? Yeah, so how do you do something like that? And that Dojo has itself, has pieces in place that make it pretty nice to be able to do something like this. And the way you do that is via the theme middleware and the way that you kind of write your CSS, your styles for Dojo widgets. So we're going to do a themable style for this widget. The only downside to doing something like just a straight up theme on the widget is that if you bring in other widgets like the Dojo widgets and you want them to use the Dojo theme, I think you have to write stuff for them too. But we'll play with that actually. I don't know if that's true. I could be lying. But there's some really good doc on the Dojo site about doing theming and everything, per widget style sheets for regular styling and stuff. Then it gets into a little bit about not just styling, but how you might make variants for the styles, and you can work with themes and do some cool stuff. One thing that's tripped me up before in the past is that when you do the themes, and I'll show you this when we work on ours, is the way that you're going to have to name it, right? So whatever your project is, or your widget package, or whatever you might be doing, it is that / the widget name, the theme. So in my example here, this project is called Dojo Themable App. So when I create a theme, it should be called Dojo Themable App / users. That's the name of the widget. And that's going to be the CSS here. So we're going to do that for a dark theme and a light theme, which I mean, it's a lot of CSS, so I'm not going to write it all by hand here as I show you, but I just kind of want to show you the steps, the process for it. So first off, let's take a look at the actual widget and what it does. All right, so it's bringing in the theme middleware. I have the iCache middleware. I'm using checkbox from Dojo widgets just for that little checkbox over here. I probably don't even really need it, but I brought it in anyway just to try some stuff out. So here's my process to fetch users, and here's the interfaces and stuff, right? So I create my little render factory over here, and I'm gonna go ahead and create my my list here. And basically this is just a little helper function that I've got set up that is going to go ahead and map over these items I get back from that API, and it's going to create this little list item with the image in there pointing to an avatar, and then just some space here to show the name that comes back. So this isn't too key. It's just going to take it in here, but you will notice I bring in this themed CSS property, and that is going to have the values that apply as a classes here, and those are just empty in here. These are the properties that are going to be the classes, but right now for the default widget they don't have anything. It's just you know, empty for now. So okay, so here's my render function, my users. I'm pulling my middleware out. I got my iCache, my store, my theme. I pull stuff out of the store so I can go ahead and run my executor to extract my data, right? So if there's no users currently loaded, then I'm gonna go ahead and run the store to fetch those users. And while that's happening, I'm just gonna go ahead and pass this little loading users thing, which you probably will never briefly see it up in the corner. I don't even know if you can catch it on camera here. Might be too fast, but it's very briefly up here. The API is pretty fast. It's only got a handful of things in here, so it comes in. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a checked value, so whether or not this is checked in here, and then I'm gonna run the themed CSS on my CSS. I use the middleware to run theme.classes on my CSS. So basically it's going to say that whatever theme I have, it's going to replace those classes with the classes from my theme, right? And I think it kind of explains that in the documentation here. Let's see if I look for classes. Here we go. So make a widget themable. Use theme.classes to return the themed CSS class name, which allows a widget's default styles to be overridden by a theme, right? So because it uses CSS modules, there will be like, I haven't looked at the source, what the output is, but I'm guessing it's going to be something like, you know, dark / something something list. And then it's going to be light / something something list for the class name. So when I run that theme, classes on there, the CSS class name values are going to change. You can apply it to my widgets, my VDOM, just as if I manually went in there and wrote some code on some sort of a checkbox click to go and change all of these class names to something else, right? It's basically that, but I'm using the built-in tools for Dojo to let me do that. It's much cleaner, much easier to maintain, less error prone, right? And it should only impact the classes that are being used there. This also talks about theme variants. We're not going to talk about variants. You can see here it's pulling that out. Let's not worry about variants for now. I can do that another one. I've never really used variants, so I don't want to talk too much about stuff that I don't know. Although that's not, honestly, that's never really stopped me before. That is essentially how it's going to manage changing the theme. We need to do a bit more here to make the theme change. We'll do that on this checkbox change here. So when I do this, I set the checked to checked here. That also updates the checkbox value, and so on and so forth. And here's my list. I'm just passing there. So, okay, let's make some themes in here. Let's make a folder for dark, and let's make a folder for light. So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and copy this because it's empty, but I'm still going to use them here. So I'll paste that in my dark theme. I'm going to paste this in my light theme, and then I'm good to go. So my typing file for the CSS story setup. Normally, Dojo build tools will handle this bit for you here. So if I create a CSS file and I use it, or try to use it in a widget or something like that, the Dojo build tools will automatically create this typings file for whatever names I'm trying to use in the CSS file, right? It'll take care of that for me. But I'm just copying them over for now and manage that myself. So this is my dark theme. So I'm not going to write out the entire CSS for a dark theme for you. The magic of the internet, I'm going to go ahead and copy paste that style in here, right? So now I've got a background that's kind of a dark gray. The list itself is going to have kind of a white border colors and stuff. And see, it's grays and whites and so on to manage that, right? And we're going to do something very similar for the light theme. Wayne's World, right? That's the way they used to do it, man. So I copy this here. Magic of the internet. Boom, I got my light theme now, right? So now the background color is going to be white. The basically reversed all the colors in here, and so on and so forth. That might be a pretty cool utility if someone had that. If I could feed you some CSS, and you take all of my colors and you switch them via like a color hue, like a 180 or something like that, that'd be a very cool tool. Does anybody have something like that? If you do, please let me know, because that's nice. I'm not sure if I'm smart enough to write something like that, but I would love to be able to use it. So now I have my two CSS files, right? So it's essentially is like me giving these class names to a DOM elements, and then switching the CSS files at runtime or something like that, right? Although these are CSS modules, so it's going to be a little bit more scoped than just trying to do it that way. So let's play around with this. So I've got my dark, my light. Now, how do I use these in here? So I need to go ahead and let me just double check my notes. Okay. So in here, what I'll do is I need to import the dark theme. So I'm going to go and import. Oh, I can't do it yet. My bad, my bad. No, I can't do it just yet. I need to do one more thing. So themes, dark, let's come over here, new file, theme.ts. That's like the most important part. So for this TypeScript file, I'm going to import as CSS the CSS from my dark theme. Okay, so I'm bringing that CSS in. Now I need to export default an object that's going to have the CSS for my dark theme. And this is what I was talking about before when I said the key here in this object has to be the same as my package name, so, or my project name in this case. So that is a Dojo themable, and this will quickly make you want to make your project names very short. Dojo themable app, and it's going to be users, right? And then the value is going to be the CSS. So I can just go ahead and save this. The beauty of this is that since these are both, you know, kind of the same thing, it's just different colors, I can copy and paste that same theme file. This should just work. Nothing in the actual theme file indicates whether it's dark or light. It's based on where it's coming from, right? So it's coming from a light directory, and this one's coming from a dark directory. That's pretty much the only way to discern the two, right? Okay, so we got those theme files. Now I can import them. Now I can go ahead and say import dark from, what am I doing? Import dark from, let's go up one. Nope, not there. Themes. And I'm going to say dark and bring that theme in here. Okay. Now the beauty is this, they're so similar. I can just change this now to light. And let's come over here. Let's say light. Okay, so now they're both available for me to use. So yeah, it's gonna, don't worry about this. It's gonna give me errors because they're unused variables, and the Dojo build tools are very sensitive to that. Okay, so now what I can do in here is that when I go ahead and check the box, I want to do something, right? So when I check this box, I want to switch from light to dark. What I do want to do is that when this application first starts, I want to default. So let's do that. Where did I do that? Right when I get to checked here. Okay, so let's do this. So if not theme dot get anything. All right, I think I don't have to pass it nothing. So if there's no theme set, I want to set the theme by default to the light theme. And it's still complaining because I'm not using dark. Let's do this. It's just console.log dark. That'll touch it and use it. Oh, so that does it. So it's true, right? Oh, look at, I had that action going there. So okay, awesome. So it's not set just yet. There's no theme here. I set that. Okay. Now that didn't automatically change because I need to trigger a re-render somehow. But it's okay, no big deal. So now what we're gonna do is that when I check the box, what I want to say is something very similar. So I want to say if it's not checked, say so. Wait. Yes, if it's not checked, I want theme to be dark. Dark. Yeah. Else, we're going to go ahead and do theme dot set light. Yeah, it's just a way to toggle those two based on whether it's checked or not. And I could have sworn it would have automatically done this for me. Oh, wait, I know what to do. I know what to do. So I want to do this before I do the whole getting the theme CSS stuff. Right. Boom, like that. There we go. So now it's set. So before I do the theme.classes, kind of jack myself up. Because I do theme.classes, then it's got the theme, but remember these classes here? Where is that? Are empty. There's no styling set for them. So that's why it wasn't updated for me. So now I'm going to get it. So it's going to be the light theme. And I check this box, and I got a dark theme. Right. Pretty cool. Pretty easy to do. Like I said, the theme middleware kind of makes this really nice to do. One area which I think, I don't know if I'm doing it wrong. I need to ask the Dojo team about this. Is the fact that, and I'll show you how this happens to me. So there's another widget that's really nice that I like to use sometimes called Switch. And Switch looks a little bit like a toggle switch in the application. Although if I don't have the theme for Dojo, I can't see it. Let me change this to value. Like so. So I need to bring in the Dojo theme for the widgets to use it. Maybe I can manually set that, but I don't know. I don't want to mix that. If I don't want to theme these other widgets, I don't want to overwrite them in any way. I want them to use the Dojo theme. I think I still need to extend it in some way. And I think there's a way to do it with the way that you do the CSS and everything, so you want to extend another theme. I haven't really got into it, and I do need to delve into that a bit more. But I did want to point out that if you hit some weird issues like that, you're not alone. It's there. I don't think that the doc quite covers that yet, but I can definitely bring it up with that team and be like, hey, it'll be kind of nice if this was a little clearer as to how this is supposed to operate, because I think that'd be really useful. And I think if you go into the GitHub repo and look more at the kind of the stuff that's in there, there might be some more details on how to do that. But off the top of my head, I just don't know right now. But I still think this is just kind of cool. I can go and quickly change that theme, super fast, super easy to do. Yeah, Dojo just makes that really nice. So give it a shot. Theme your apps, theme your Dojo apps, get them all going. I don't use a dark theme on my site because it's all kind of like, I kind of like where it's at now. And I haven't really had anybody ask me for a dark theme yet on my site. So, but if they do, I will implement this and take advantage of it. Thanks a lot. Hey.